This is Hidden Killers Week in Review.
A look back at the most prolific stories of the week.
This is the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski.
Featuring defense attorney, Hidden Killers daily contributor, and host of the Defense Diaries podcast, Bob Motta.
Trial of Donna Adelson, it's not all that far off, and lots of questions still are out there into the ether of how much did Donna play a role in this? How much did she know? Joining me to discuss, Bob Motta, defense attorney, host of the podcast Defense Diaries. It's time to talk Adelsons again. Obviously, Charlie convicted last year. Donna's coming here. What's your thoughts as we get closer to her getting her trial date?
It's going to be a fascinating trial. I mean, because one of the things we just learned is that they are transporting Charlie. He's going to be testifying on behalf of the state. So I don't know if that's like, we just found that out. So that's like, what's he going to say? You know, I mean, is he going to be like Wendi? You know, like they could never get Wendi to crack, and they've put her on in every single trial. And I'm assuming they're going to put her on again, you know, but it's going to be a banger. It's going to be a really fascinating trial, because the things that we saw about Donna coming through, especially in Charlie's trial, with respect to, you know, I mean, they have her pegged as the money woman. Mm-hmm. You know, she's the one who was, you know, supplying the cash, you know, that would have been supplying the cash that would have gone to Dan, you know, when they were trying to buy him off to allow the kids to move down there. Like she was the one, you know, like they have her pegged as the puppet master, even though I still think that it was Wendi that was the true puppet master. But again, in any case, whether or not you're able to get a conviction all depends on what evidence you have, you know? And it's like Charlie was so sloppy that they ended up getting plenty of evidence against him. I don't know how much they're going to have against Donna, but, you know, and it depends on what Charlie's going to say. You know, I mean, who knows, man?
If Charlie's testifying on the part of the state, does that necessarily mean that he's flipping on Donna, his mom? Or it's just, you're going to be testifying. You don't really have much of a choice in this.
It doesn't. Like they could have subpoenaed him and said that we're putting you on to testify. Georgia probably just wants to put him to it. Mm-hmm. Just wants to ask questions that he's not going to be able to answer. Mm-hmm. I don't think Charlie's going in. I don't think he's turned state's evidence, because there's no benefit to him at this point. You know, what are they going to do? Reduce his sentence some? I mean, what? Like there's no benefit to Charlie throwing his mother under the bus. So I have a sneaking suspicion is that Kappelman just wants to get him on the stand and have him try to answer questions that she knows he's not going to be able to answer as to Donna's involvement in this whole thing, is what I'm guessing.
If Wendi is the puppet master in all this, like you said, you think she might be, why no charges as of yet? They're just letting her hang out in the wind? I would think by this point, they've unturned a lot of stones in this. And if there was something to charge her with, wouldn't they have done it by now?
You would think, but that the one thing that tells you is lack of evidence. Yeah. You know, they don't need to wait for each domino to fall to charge Wendi, especially when Georgia knows that Ruth, you know, Dan's mother, is fighting desperately to get the boys, you know, into her custody, or, you know, where she's the guardian of the boys, because she's not even able to see her grandchildren. Yeah. So, you know, you've got this family that where now one of the family members is convicted of, you know, having a hand in killing Dan. And you've got, see, I had Doug on the brain from Benefield, you know, but you've got, you know, this situation where like everything is kind of like coming together as to everybody else, but it just tells me that they don't have what they need to get her. You know what I mean? Because you have the thing where she drives by the neighborhood, by happenstance. I was on my way to get alcohol, but I just happened to take a different route than I would normally take. That seems to be a little bit longer of a route to that liquor store, and she just happens to cruise by right after the shooting has taken place. It's, you know, I mean, it certainly seems very suspicious. Is that enough to get her on, though? You know, so maybe the feeling of the prosecution is that, all right, what we're going to have to do is that we do have to wait for each domino to fall. We're going to put away each and every one of these family members so that it seems completely implausible to any jury that Wendi Adelson wasn't behind all of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We've proven now that every other single family member had a hand in this.
Yeah.
And you're going to sit there as a jury and you're going to think that the mother of the two children didn't have a hand in it.
Yeah.
Come on. You know what I mean? Like that can be a way to kind of make up for a lack of, you know, substantial evidence in the case. That's the only thing I could think of.
It's a hard one. I mean, it does very much seem like an enmeshed family where, you know, everybody's kind of doing the bidding of each other, and the end goal in a meshed family is to do whatever is the best interest of the family, not a single individual. And obviously we have Charlie, we got Donna, we got everybody kind of playing those sort of roles. So I guess, is it that, does Wendi know what they were going to do, or does Wendi just know her family? And at the end of the day, her family's going to do what they think is best. And she knew what they thought was best, even if it wasn't what she thought was best, and just kind of felt helpless to do anything. Whether or not in reality she was, I mean, she has free will. She could have done something. But did she just stand on the wayside and let the family do what they were going to do?
Yeah, I mean, if she's got knowledge, she's got culpability, though. You know what I mean?
But if she doesn't have knowledge, just knows that they have these feelings, that they don't like him, and that they're capable of doing something, but maybe they will, maybe they won't. It'd be very different if she knew that they were planning on killing him. But that's
I
wonder if she knew that.
One thing, right? Like thinking, like knowing that your family doesn't like your ex because he's blocking the ability to be able to have the kids down where they all want to be living down in Florida is a far cry from like knowing that they're plotting to murder him.
Sure, completely,
you know what
completely.
I mean?
But that's what I'm wondering. Did she know that?
That's what I mean. If she did, she's culpable. The problem for the state is, how do you prove it?
True.
How do you prove that she had the knowledge? That's what I'm saying. That's what I think that they're missing. That one missing piece to that critical missing piece to the puzzle for them in terms of getting her arrested and convicted. Because look, they can certainly arrest her. You know, I think there's certainly enough there to arrest her. The question becomes, is there enough to convict her? And that's why I'm saying I think that the domino theory, it may be strategically what the state is thinking is the best approach to it. Like, look, we've just got to get all of these people convicted, and then we're going to have to leave it to the jury to just use their common sense and come to the understanding that this was a family thing. This was a family decision, that they were all doing it at the behest of one another. You know, ultimately, like you said, they are an enmeshed family. They just are like, they work as a family unit. It's almost like the mafia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, very much.
They've got that vibe. You know, you never go against the family.
Very much.
You know, it's like, it's the vibe. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like, I would be shocked if she's not arrested and tried ultimately.
Do you think we would see that before Donna goes to trial, or is that something that just as Donna got arrested right after Charlie, it's just kind of like, okay, check that box, on to the next?
Well, like, I mean, remember they were definitely hot to arrest her, but Donna really facilitated it by the jail calls and fleeing the country.
Yes.
You know, those two things, like that expedited the whole process for the state with respect to Donna. You know, the question is, do they go after, what's Donna's husband's name? Harvey?
Harvey. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do they go after Harvey next with the whole birthday gift thing? Oh, we're getting you the greatest birthday gift of all time. You know, your grandkids are coming to live with us. You know, I mean, like, it's just hard to know, because it's like, again, with Charlie, you had some pretty powerful forensic evidence, right? You know, and you had the relationship with him and Katie that was critical, you know, to being able to tie things together. Where you don't have those same relationships, you're not going to be able to have Katie get in there and testify to the same types of things as to Donna or to Harvey or to Wendi, you know, that she was able to testify to, you know, as to Charlie, and with either of the actual hitmen either. You know, I mean, you have both these guys coming in, they had contact with Charlie. none of them had any kind of real contact with Donna, Harvey, or Wendi. So like those factors are missing. You know what I mean? From the case. And those were very, very helpful in terms of getting Charlie convicted, because again, you know, in a circumstantial case, you're having to put the, you know, like lawyers always love to use that puzzle analogy, the jigsaw puzzle, you know, but it's true. We use it because it's a very accurate way to where, you know, you're always going to have missing pieces in a circumstantial case. But if you step far enough back and look at it, can you see the full picture despite the missing pieces? And, you know, with Charlie, you were certainly able to, you know, with the rest of them, I mean, I guess it's yet to be seen. And, you know, I mean, being able to use convicted family members and forcing them in to testify is a pretty helpful tool, you know, because like Charlie's not going to be prepped. Like when they call him on direct, you know, they're not going to be saying, okay, this is what we're going to ask you. We're going to give you a bunch of time to try to prep an answer. Like it's going to basically be a hostile witness situation where she's trying to catch him in lies.
Yeah.
Direct examination. It's going to be wild.
Want more of the podcast without the ads?
Then hit subscribe to the True Crime Today Premium Plus channel on Apple Podcasts.
Try it now for 3 days, absolutely free.
You'll get access to all of our extended advance ad-free episodes instantly.
So you can binge without the break. True Crime Today Premium Plus.
Search and subscribe now on Apple Podcasts.